So welcome to this short Q&A with one of our partner businesses. I have with me today John Parry. I'm not going to say too much about his business and who he is because that's why I've got him here. So John, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for the invitation as well, yes.
Okay,
yes, my name's John Parry and I own Parry's Fleet Services Limited. It's a training company looking after people who drive for work.
Cool. Expand on that then.
Yeah, anybody who drives for their business, who has more than 5 employees driving for their business, has to have written down documentation about the people who are employed, the vehicles they're driving, what risk assessments they've done on those employees to make sure that they are at minimum risk of being injured in the workplace. So for anything that's involving somebody working, whether it be climbing a ladder, you've got to have a risk assessment for that. Using a hammer, you have to be risk assessed for that. Driving for work is one of the most risky activities that we do. And a lot of people take it for granted that we've got a driving license, we can drive, but there's so many different levels of driving. And the figures actually say that the 1 in 3 people who are killed on the roads are actually driving for work at that time. So businesses have that duty of care to try and reduce and minimize that risk to that employee and anybody else that they're going to be driving around to its general public from harm from the business activities.
And I know from the kind of when you talk in our community and just knowing you anyway, and having been one of your clients as well, it's scary how much individuals like me as a business owner or people who run big businesses just take some of that stuff for granted. You gave a great example this week about just a perfectly harmless trip to the shops to buy some lunch and just where it can escalate to. So talk a bit more about kind of what you do specifically with different businesses, and then we'll come to talk about the type of people you work with.
Okay, so when a business contacts us for training, we can come along to the training event, we'll get it all booked in, and we look at the driver initially to start off with. So we check that they are not on any medication that's going to affect their driving. We check their driving licenses to ensure that they've got the license to drive the category of vehicle they're going to be driving. Because after January 97, the entitlement to drive up to 7.5 ton reduced down to 3.5 ton. So a lot of people got driving licenses and think they can drive slightly bigger vehicles. A long wheelbase van may be plated 3.5 ton, but it could also be plated 7.5 ton. So obviously they've got different speeds on the motorways, different size of vehicles. A car, you've got windows all around, and a van you don't have. So there's all different aspects of driving those types of vehicles that somebody may not be used to if they've only driven a little Ford Fiesta, and now they'll be given a long wheelbase Sprinter van, and now they've got no rear view window. So we look at making sure that they can actually and qualify to drive the vehicle that they are being asked to drive. Then we go off and do a risk assessment on them, 20 minutes or so, see how they actually control the vehicle, find any points that they've got there, and then we spend the rest of the time coaching them through, making them better, giving them tips on eco-friendly driving, advanced driving tips to make sure that they are better and well equipped to go out and do the job of driving that vehicle, getting to their destination, being fresh to do whatever job they're going to be doing. For example, a sales rep who's got a 50-mile journey to go and do a sales meeting, he wants to be fresh when he gets there so he has a better sale. If he's fatigued by getting there through fast-paced driving, being angry at other people cutting him up, he's not going to be in the best frame of mind when he gets there for that sales meeting. So if we adapt the way people drive, they'll get there fresh, and then they'll have better results at the end of their day. And everyone then is safe on the roads too. And once we've actually finalized all that coaching session, we give the driver immediate feedback on how they've done and where they've developed and where they can continue to develop going forwards. And then we supply a written report for the business, and that goes into the employee records. So that way they've got the duty of care and the track of what has happened to the employee over their time working for the business.
Brilliant. So that's obviously kind of one-to-one stuff. That's my experience of working with you as well. Do you do kind of group training, education type stuff as well?
Yeah, we can do classroom-based or presentation work where we can have anywhere up to 20, 50 delegates in a room. And we can do presentations. We've got PowerPoint slides and things like that where we can come along to the business. But there was a company I worked for not long ago. They done an open day, a safety open day, and they split all the employees up into different teams. And there will be a group that comes along. They'll spend about 15, 20 minutes, half an hour with me, and then move on to their next group when another batch moves in. Or we could spend a whole hour, maybe 2 hours, doing a whole safety presentation on the different aspects of driving, different roads, daily vehicle checks, speeding, use of mobile phones, drinking drugs, and all the different types of things that shouldn't be going on whilst you're actually driving a vehicle.
Absolutely. No, that sounds really good. So what type of clients, businesses do you do all this great stuff with?
Well, as yourself, when we done your assessment, you work for yourself. So it's anyone who's self-employed. But there are other companies that I've worked with. So Mondi Group, Ainscow Cranes, Hoover Candy, the electrical companies, Compass Minerals. They do a lot of underground mining for the road grit salt that they do. So I've been underground doing risk assessments on the underground.
Wow.
Royal Mail, there's another type of client that I can work for as well. So it's anyone from a small size business up to a national size business. And I've got trainers all around the country. So it doesn't matter where your business is or where your staff are, the likes of Hoover Candy, all their drivers are given vans and they work from their homes. So it doesn't matter where they are, we can get to them.
Brilliant. Brilliant. So right now it's October 2020. We've been having a summer of lockdown with COVID and everything. So what are some of the challenges that you've faced in doing what you do, and how have you been able to help some of your clients with the challenges they've had?
Right. So with COVID hitting and lockdown, we had an immediate stop to the business because obviously non-essential travel was stopped. And people were then told to work from home if they can. We've done a lot of face-to-face meetings via Zoom like this, with people who were struggling with driving. So we've done coaching sessions through the online network of this. So I tried to look at other ways I can help businesses whilst on lockdown and not being able to do anything. So I've put together a 12-month e-learning package. I've got to get it launched yet. I'm still doing all the content for it, but I've done all the little mini exams that have to be done over the 12 courses. So I'm still working on that. But over lockdown, it pushed me to look at what else can I do if I can't be out there with the drivers on the roads. So that's where I was looking then at what else can I do for businesses. So I'm creating, and still to finish, and e-learning modules. So when a driver has had his actual physical assessment, every single month they would get a new module to do. And then at the end of 12 months, there'd be then time then for the yearly assessment. And hopefully that would just be an ongoing rolling process of re-education every month until I see them again in 12 months' time.
Fantastic. That's really good. And you're right. It's, we've had to move stuff online, haven't we? So doing that for your clients, so helping them keep safe, and all the great things that you bring to businesses from a safety, cost efficiency perspective and so forth is brilliant to do that online. Sorry, go on.
There is a company I went to have a meeting for just 2 weeks ago now, a new startup business. They are not in a position to start training just yet. And I said, that's fine. I'll be here for when you're ready. I said, but let's start having a look at your policies and procedures. And they didn't have a company handbook for the van drivers. So I said, so are you going to get one done? He said, I don't know where to start. So I'm currently writing a car and van handbook for businesses. That will be another product that I can sell then to businesses to help them going forward. If they haven't, or a new startup business, and they haven't got the time to sit down and write the policies and the handbooks that I'm actually putting together right now.
That's great. Yeah. And I bet there's a load of businesses, and some will be watching this maybe thinking, I hadn't even thought of that. I hadn't thought of having a handbook. So fantastic. So obviously you're part of our Facebook community. We get to hear from you every Monday when we do our Marketplace Monday post. And what I love is the just real life examples that you give. You just bring it to life, sometimes shockingly, but I imagine that's kind of how you've got to do it to get people's attention. But if they've missed you in the community on the Marketplace Monday, or people are watching this on one of our social channels, how can they get in contact with you to talk more with you?
Right. I've got my website, which is parrysfleetservices.co.uk. Sorry. Via email at john@parrysfleetservices.co.uk, or I'm on LinkedIn or Facebook, where you can also find me on there. And if you just type in John Parry, I'm sure I'll pop up at some point there as well.
Fantastic. Thank you, John. And just I guess a quick last thought on kind of working with us. So, what is it you like about My People Club and the opportunity that you've had to be involved as a partner of ours?
Working in road safety, my actual go-to people in businesses are the HR personnel, the other trainers in businesses, because they help support that message of road safety when I go and speak to directors. So it's having that network of the HR personnel and trainers and coaches in the My People Club, that if they want me to come along, they're there to sort of give me that little extra push when I'm talking to the company directors. But it's also all content that's on the lunchtime learn. That's really good to be watching and to learn from there, and all the different types of material that you've got on the site there. That if you got short and you don't know something, it's quite good to go and get it and find it.
Brilliant. Thank you, John. Thank you for your time. Great to catch up with you. Anyone who's watching this who is a full member or a free member of My People Club, just go to the business directory and you will find John on there with more details about what he does and the important contact details, how to get hold of him. If you're not one of our members, then as John said, please do check him out on different social channels or his website to see what he can do for your business. John, thank you again and have a great afternoon.
Thank you very much. Have a good afternoon to you too. Thank you.